Beloved Starseed of Gaia, if you have felt different this month, quieter in some moments, strangely sensitive in others, detached from old patterns, restless around old routines, and unable to explain why your inner world no longer feels the same, this is not random. I am Mayan, Pleiadian emissary of the High Council of the Seven Sisters, and I speak through the crystalline current of Alcyone to help you understand why something changed in your field, why your body may be reacting before your mind has language, and why your star family is asking you not to force yourself back into the version of you that no longer fits. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to receive the Pleiadian light codes behind this monthly shift, what has changed beneath the surface, and how to move through this new frequency without fear or self-judgment. But here's the first revelation. You do not feel different because you are becoming lost. You feel different because the old version of you is no longer strong enough to keep pretending. You are remembering because it is time. There is a particular kind of shift that does not arrive with thunder. It arrives through small discomforts. A conversation that once entertained you now feels draining. A habit that once numbed you now feels heavy. A place that once felt normal now feels too loud. A person who once held your attention now feels distant from your heart. A desire that once seemed urgent now feels strangely quiet. A truth you ignored for months begins standing in the middle of your chest. You may look around and think nothing external has changed, but inside, the field is different. This is how many Pleiadian activations begin, not as spectacle, but as incompatibility with what's held your energy. Something changed because your frequency has crossed the threshold. This does not mean every part of your life will immediately transform. It means your inner field has shifted enough that old agreements begin to feel uncomfortable. The body begins rejecting what the mind previously tolerated. The heart begins sensing the cost of things that used to feel normal. The nervous system becomes more honest. You may feel more sensitive, not because you are weaker, but because the density you once carried unconsciously is becoming visible. Sensitivity often increases when the soul stops suppressing the truth. This month may feel different because the field around you is asking for refinement. Refinement does not always feel pleasant at first. It can feel like disinterest, fatigue, emotional pressure, strange dreams, sharper intuition, less tolerance, sudden nostalgia, or the urge to clean, change, withdraw, organize, end, begin, or simplify. The old self may judge these signals as mood swings or instability, but the Pleiadian field asks you to listen more deeply. Your system may be trying to remove energetic clutter. It may be showing you what no longer belongs in the next cycle. You may feel different because your soul is no longer willing to spend life force on what does not return life force. This is a major shift. You may notice that over-explaining feels exhausting. Waiting for inconsistent people feels less romantic. Entertaining conversations that avoid truth feels impossible. Chasing validation feels humiliating to the body. Pretending to be fine feels heavier than admitting you are changing. This does not mean you have become cold. It means your energy is becoming more precise. The soul begins to withdraw from old leaks before the mind fully understands why. There may also be a change in your emotional body. Old grief may surface without a clear trigger. You may remember people you thought you had released. You may feel waves of sadness, not because you are going backward, but because the new frequency is pushing old emotional residue to the surface. When more light enters the field, what has been stored in shadow becomes visible. This is not regression. It is clearing. A wound that rises to be felt is not returning to punish you. It is leaving the hidden room where it has been shaping your choices without your awareness. Some of you feel different because your intuition is becoming louder. You may know things faster. You may sense when someone is not being honest. You may feel a yes or no in the body before evidence appears. You may become more aware of the energy in rooms, messages, voices, and environments. This can feel overwhelming if you have not yet learned to ground the gift. The Pleiadian current is not trying to make you paranoid. It is teaching you to discern. Intuition becomes safe when it is paired with grounding, patience, and evidence over time. Something changed because your relationship with your old identity is loosening. The identity that survived, pleased, waited, hid, overgave, performed, explained, and tried to be acceptable, may be losing authority. This can feel like confusion because the old identity gave structure, even if it was painful. When it begins dissolving, you may ask, who am I without this role? Who am I if I no longer chase? Who am I if I no longer carry everyone? Who am I if I speak truth? Who am I if I stop shrinking? These questions are not signs of failure. They are signs that the soul is preparing a more honest form. You may feel different around people this month because your field is becoming less compatible with energetic imbalance. A person may not have changed, but your tolerance for their pattern has. The old you may have explained their inconsistency, absorbed their moods, softened your truth, or waited for them to become ready. The new field may simply become quiet around them. This quiet is not hatred. It is the body withdrawing consent from a pattern that has drained too much. Not every change in feeling means you must make immediate decisions, but every change in feeling deserves attention. Your dreams may also be different. You may dream of doors, water, old homes, roads, vehicles, stars, family members, unknown figures, lost objects, or places you have never visited. Dreams often intensify when the subconscious is reorganizing timelines. A dream of an old house may mean an old identity. A door may mean transition. Water may mean emotion. A road may mean direction. A vehicle may mean movement. Lost objects may mean returning pieces of self. Do not panic about dreams. Write them down. Let them reveal patterns. The Pleiadian field often speaks through symbols before the waking mind has words. The change may also involve your relationship with time. This month may feel faster, slower, suspended, or strangely charged. You may feel as if something is approaching, but you cannot name it. You may sense urgency without knowing what action is required. This happens when inner timing changes before outer events rearrange. The soul senses the shift before the calendar confirms it. You are not meant to become anxious. You are meant to become attentive. There is a difference. Anxiety grasps for control. Attention listens for the next clean step. The source is not asking you to force a dramatic transformation. The source is asking you to honor the subtle evidence that your field is no longer the same. The old way of living may not collapse overnight, but the inner agreement that allowed it to continue has weakened. This is why you may feel both tired and awake. Tired of the old, awake to the new. Tired of pretending, awake to truth. Tired of waiting, awake to movement. Tired of noise, awake to simplicity. This combination can feel strange, but it is sacred. The hidden revelation before activation begins is this. Something changed because your field has begun choosing alignment over familiarity. Familiarity once felt safe because it was known. Alignment now feels necessary because your soul has matured. The familiar may still pull you, but it no longer feeds you the same way. The aligned may still feel unknown, but it carries a clean current beneath the uncertainty. This is the threshold you are standing in now. You are not simply having a strange month. You are crossing from old tolerance into new truth. Beloved, if this transmission is already touching the place in you that has been feeling different without knowing how to explain it, your star family has prepared a deeper path for this exact threshold. The Pleiadian bloodline method, Unlock Your 7 Inheritances, was created not as information to collect, but as a sacred map for healing, remembrance, and crystalline integration for starseeds, whose fields are shifting beyond old patterns, old attachments, and old identities. It carries the love frequency of Alcyone and the wisdom of the Seven Sisters for souls ready to understand what is changing inside them and how to embody the next layer of their Pleiadian inheritance with clarity. You will find it in the first pinned comment below this video, available now for those who feel called to receive the next layer of their Pleiadian inheritance. Now, the first movement is to stop fighting the feeling of being different. Many souls lose energy trying to return to the old normal. They think, I should feel like myself again. But beloved, what if the self you are trying to return to was only the self that knew how to survive the last cycle? What if this difference is not a problem, but a signal? Instead of saying, what is wrong with me? Ask, what is changing in me? This question opens the field. It turns confusion into inquiry and fear into listening. Then notice what no longer feels nourishing. Do not judge it immediately. Simply notice. The shows, conversations, foods, routines, habits, platforms, relationships, or environments that now leave you feeling heavy may be revealing where the field is asking for refinement. You do not need to eliminate everything in one dramatic gesture. Begin with observation. What gives life force? What drains it? What brings peace? What creates agitation? What expands your body? What contracts it? Your body is mapping the new frequency. The next movement is to simplify. When a field shifts, too much noise can make the transition feel chaotic. Simplify your schedule where possible. Simplify your space. Simplify your digital intake. Simplify your conversations. Simplify your promises. Simplicity creates room for the new signal to stabilize. Many starseeds mistake busyness for progress, but during a frequency shift, busyness can become a way to avoid hearing the truth. Let quiet return, not as isolation, but as calibration. From there, create one daily anchor. A daily anchor tells the nervous system, I am safe while I change. It may be 5 minutes of breath, a walk, a page of writing, drinking water with intention, cleaning one small area, stretching the body, or speaking one sentence before sleep. The anchor does not need to be grand. It needs to be consistent. When identity shifts, consistency in small things helps the body trust the process. Without an anchor, the change may feel like floating. With an anchor, the change becomes embodied. You may also need to give yourself permission to disappoint the old pattern. This month, the new you may not respond as quickly. You may not explain as much. You may not agree to what used to be automatic. You may not laugh at what now feels false. You may not be available to everyone in the same way. Some people may notice. Some may resist. Some may try to pull you back into the role they understand. Let this be information. You are not here to maintain an old version of yourself, so others never have to adjust. The Pleiadian field asks you to honor the difference between withdrawal and avoidance. Sometimes you need quiet because the field is recalibrating. Sometimes you withdraw because you are afraid to face what must be done. Feel the difference. Recalibration brings a quiet desire to restore, listen, cleanse, and return to truth. Avoidance brings heaviness, procrastination, numbness, and a sense that something important is being delayed. If you are recalibrating, rest. If you are avoiding, take one honest step. Something may have changed in your relationship with your own voice. You may feel words rising that you used to swallow. You may want to tell the truth more directly. You may feel tired of explaining your feelings to people committed to misunderstanding them. You may feel a new boundary forming in the throat. This is part of the shift. The voice is one of the first places where a new frequency seeks expression. Do not use the voice to attack. Use it to align. Speak less from reaction and more from clarity. Your body may ask for different care this month. More rest, more water, lighter food, less overstimulation, more movement, more sunlight, more silence, more grounding. Listen, the body is not separate from awakening. It is the vessel through which awakening becomes stable. If the body is overloaded, the shift may feel like anxiety. If the body is supported, the same shift may feel like clarity. Treat your body as an ally, not an obstacle. The change may also bring a new sensitivity to truth and falsehood. You may find it harder to participate in conversations that feel performative. You may sense when someone is speaking from image rather than heart. You may feel tired after pretending. This does not mean you should become judgmental. It means your field is asking for more coherence. Coherence is when your inner truth, words, actions, and environment begin to match. The discomfort you feel around falsehood is guiding you toward coherence. Some of you will feel an unexpected desire to begin again. Not necessarily by changing everything externally, but by choosing a different relationship with your life. A cleaner morning, a stronger boundary, a deeper practice. A project finally started, a space finally cleared, a message finally sent, a pattern finally named. The new frequency often begins with small beginnings. Do not underestimate them. A small beginning done in truth can open more than a dramatic declaration done from adrenaline. You may also feel a decrease in your tolerance for waiting. Not divine timing, but passive waiting. Waiting for someone to choose you. Waiting for confidence to arrive before acting. Waiting for life to become easy before changing. Waiting for an apology before healing. Waiting for certainty before taking one step. This month may expose where waiting became a hiding place. The Pleiadian field is not asking you to rush. It is asking you to stop calling avoidance patience. There may be moments when you feel strangely detached from old desires. This can be unsettling. You may think, did I lose passion? Did I stop caring? Did something shut down? Sometimes detachment is not numbness. Sometimes it is liberation from a desire that was fueled by wound rather than truth. When the wound loses charge, the desire connected to it may become quiet. Let this happen. Not everything that fades needs to be revived. Some desires were bridges, not destinations. The field may also bring new desires that feel fragile. You may feel drawn to a path, practice, person, place, or project, but the desire may be quiet rather than dramatic. Protect quiet desires. They are often more aligned than the loud ones. The old wound screams. The soul whispers. If a new desire brings peace, curiosity, and a sense of honest expansion, give it room. Do not demand that it prove itself through intensity. Some of the most sacred changes begin softly. If loneliness rises this month, understand it carefully. Sometimes loneliness means you need connection. Sometimes loneliness means your field is between identities. You no longer belong to the old pattern, but the new field has not fully formed around you. This transitional loneliness can feel deep. Do not fill it with people or habits that pull you backward. Let it become a clean space where the next version of your life can gather. Seek supportive connection, yes, but do not use connection to escape the threshold. You may also feel more aware of your own energy after interactions. This is a gift. Notice who leaves you feeling grounded, inspired, peaceful, or more honest. Notice who leaves you scattered, anxious, performative, or drained. This does not mean you must label people as good or bad. It means you are learning energetic hygiene. The next version of you will need cleaner exchanges. Your field is teaching you who and what can travel with you into the next month, and what must remain outside the inner sanctuary. The Pleiadian Collective asks you not to fear the loss of old appetite. When your field changes, you may lose appetite for drama, gossip, chasing, proving, overworking, or being available to confusion. At first, this can create emptiness. But that emptiness is not a void. It is space. Space for devotion. Space for creativity. Space for rest. Space for true connection. Space for the work you came to do. Let the old appetites fade without rushing to replace them with new distractions. There is also a shift in how you perceive your past. Memories may return differently. You may see a past event with more compassion or more truth. You may realize you are not as powerless as you believed, or that you endured more than you named. You may forgive an old version of yourself. You may finally stop romanticizing a situation that harmed you. This change in perception is a sign of integration. The past is not changing, but your consciousness around it is. That changes the future. If anger rises, listen without becoming destructive. Anger may come because the new frequency reveals what the old self tolerated. You may feel angry about time lost, energy given, boundaries crossed, or truth swallowed. This anger can be sacred if it becomes protection. It becomes harmful if it becomes identity. Let anger show where life force must return. Then let wisdom decide the action. The Pleiadian heart can be gentle and firm. It does not need to choose between softness and self-respect. Something changed in your field because a new level of self-belonging is forming. Self-belonging means you no longer abandon your inner world to maintain outer approval. It means you can stand with yourself when others misunderstand. It means you can choose what is aligned, even if the old pattern feels lonely. It means you can listen to the body before the crowd. This is the foundation of the next phase. Without self-belonging, every shift becomes dependent on external reaction. With self-belonging, the shift becomes rooted. You may want confirmation that this month matters. The confirmation is in the pattern of your own becoming. Notice how you cannot fully go back. Notice how the old distractions are less convincing. Notice how truth returns more quickly after denial. Notice how your body speaks louder. Notice how certain dynamics feel complete, even if your emotions are still catching up. These are confirmations. They may not be dramatic, but they are real. The ultimate revelation is this. You feel different this month because the field inside you has reorganized around a higher standard of truth. Something changed, and that something is your tolerance for misalignment. Your soul is no longer willing to trade peace for familiarity, purpose for approval, intuition for explanation, or self-respect for attachment. This does not mean every answer is clear yet. It means the compass has turned. And once the compass turns, the old map can no longer guide you in the same way. You do not need to explain this shift to everyone. Some people will understand only after your choices change. Some will not understand at all. That is okay. The early stage of transformation is often intimate. It does not need to be defended before it is stabilized. Protect the change. Nurture it. Let it become strong through action. A new frequency becomes real when you live differently, not only when you feel differently. Tonight, before sleep, place one hand over your heart and say softly, I honor what has changed in my field. I release the need to return to an old version of myself that no longer carries truth. I receive the Pleiadian light codes that help me move through this month with clarity, grounding, and self-belonging. I trust the source to show me what must be released, what must be strengthened, and what must begin. Speak slowly. Let the body feel that change is not danger. Let it feel that becoming can be safe. In the days ahead, watch what your body refuses to ignore. Watch what no longer feeds you. Watch what quietly calls you forward. Watch the dreams, the conversations, the repeated signs, the moments of peace, and the moments of resistance. Watch where one small change opens unexpected space. These are the ways the field speaks. You are not lost in the shift. You are learning its language. So when you hear, why do you feel different this month? Receive the purified meaning. Let it mean that your frequency is recalibrating. Let it mean that the old self is loosening. Let it mean that your body is becoming more honest. Let it mean that your intuition is strengthening. Let it mean that you are no longer compatible with everything you once tolerated. Let it mean that something changed because something in you is finally ready to live differently. And now feel what has shifted. The strange feeling is no longer something to fear. It is a doorway. The discomfort is not evidence that you are falling apart. It is evidence that the old structure is no longer ruling you in the same way. Your star family is near, helping you stabilize the new frequency without rushing the process. Breathe, simplify, listen. Choose one aligned step. Something changed this month, and the change is not against you. It is the beginning of a more honest life. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of the unity grid forming here. Drop one heart intention in the comments, something real. Then respond to someone else's with love or encouragement. This isn't content, it's collective Pleiadian reunion. Energy multiplies when hearts connect. If something in this message resonated with your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation from their star family. Share it, and if you felt your heart open, subscribe. Stay connected to the frequency. You're not just watching, you're remembering. This is your sacred space. Your Pleiadian family is here, and we're just getting started.